My name is Sophie, and I'm not one to hold a grudge, but when you cross me, well, you're in for a world of trouble. You see, I used to live with my husband, Alex, in his parents' house, and everything was fine until I had to deal with his younger sister, Chloe. She was convinced I was the wicked witch of the West, and no matter what I did, she couldn't stand the fact that I was younger than her. Plus, I work from home, and that seemed to irk her even more. One day, while I was trying to maintain my composure, Chloe came into the room, her usual snarky attitude intact. "Oh, Sophie, I'm sorry, but I don't like strangers in my house," she said, as if it was the first time I had heard that. Every day, she'd repeat this line. "My sister, Alex, and I live here, and I feel accepted by everyone except Chloe. It's like she's got a vendetta against me because I'm younger." I couldn't even have a normal conversation with her. If I dared to respond to her, she'd double down on her annoyance. And then, one day, she broke my favorite mug with a wicked grin. "Oh, I'm sorry I broke your favorite mug," Chloe said, but there was nothing apologetic about her tone. I was devastated to find my cherished mug in pieces. It wasn't about the mug. It was about her harassment and her total lack of remorse. I finally confided in Alex about the situation, and he was furious. But Chloe was stubborn, and it wasn't just Alex. His parents seemed powerless to control her as well. It was like she ruled the roost, and we were all at her mercy. One day, after another one of Chloe's passive-aggressive comments, I couldn't hold back any longer. "What exactly is your problem with me?" she asked, with a mocking tone in her voice. No, I have nothing to complain about," I replied, even though our glares could have set the room on fire. Chloe continued, "You really think I'm a young woman, don't you? As if I'm some old hag who can't find a husband." I was taken aback by her words, but before I could respond, she dropped a bombshell. "Well, guess what? I'm getting married. Congratulations." I thought, not sure why she was yelling at me. But soon enough, I'd learn her real intentions. Chloe suddenly decided to evict me from the house. "I want you to leave the house," she declared. I was baffled, to say the least. "Why?" I asked. "Because if you're here, my husband can't live here. I don't want to live with his family, and I certainly don't want you around." I was at a loss, wondering what had triggered this sudden demand. "But I'm already a member of this family," I retorted, rebelling against her for the first time. She didn't take it well, calling me arrogant and despising young people. For the next few days, Chloe continued to insult me relentlessly. I couldn't fathom why anyone would marry someone so self-centered and toxic. But then her wedding day arrived, and she reminded me of her request. "Remember what we talked about? You need to leave," Chloe said. "Yes, I understand," I replied, feeling like I was in some absurd alternate reality. However, that's when things took a turn. Chloe discovered something I have been doing for Alex's family, and she came to me in tears. "Sophie, what's going on?" she asked, visibly upset. "What's the problem? Why are you crying?" I inquired, genuinely concerned. "It's Alex, and it's not just Alex. My parents are upset too. They claim you were taking care of the finances." I explained to Chloe that I was a full-time career woman who worked remotely. I had always worked from home at Alex's family's house. Chloe couldn't seem to grasp the concept, assuming that my husband was the sole provider. She was utterly clueless about how things worked. "I'm the one making money supporting the household, while Alex is a full-time house husband," I clarified. Chloe's face flushed with embarrassment, and I could tell she was flustered. "I'm not kidding," I continued. "Please come back. Everyone blames me for you leaving. They blame me for making their lives so hard." But I wasn't ready to give in that easily. "I'd consider it if you begged me," I retorted, throwing the challenge back at her. "Get down on your knees and beg me." Chloe hesitated, but then she begged, "Please, just come back." I couldn't help but think about her arrogance and how she had treated me all along. "In any case, it's probably a bad idea," I replied, dismissing her plea. She heaved a sigh of relief, thinking she had convinced me. "You actually don't have to return after all," Chloe said, surprising me with her change of heart. Huh. This was unexpected, I thought. So what will she say now? Chloe wasn't done yet. "Just keep transferring funds, and everything will be fine. That way, my husband and I can live with my parents without you." I couldn't comprehend her audacity. "Why would I do that?" I asked incredulously. "I'm a genius, after all." Chloe grabbed my hand and continued, "If you do that, my husband and I will be able to live with my parents without you." "You're kidding, right? Why on earth would I do that?" Chloe's face turned bright red, and she clenched my hand, saying, "Why are you doing this to me? It's my parents' home. You have no reason to be so arrogant." Her words were not only absurd, but also incredibly self-centered. "Look, if you understand, please, can you just give me $1,000 right now?" Chloe pleaded, refusing to let go of my hand. "Please don't do this," I implored, as she continued to grasp my hand. But then a voice interrupted our standoff. "Sophie, are you okay?" It was Alex, my husband, who had arrived just in time to witness the scene. "What are you doing to Sophie, Chloe?" he demanded, his face flushed with anger. Chloe tried to defend herself, saying, "Sophie left on her own. It's not my fault." But Alex had finally reached his breaking point and was determined to protect me. "Ava is my wife," he declared. "You want my wife to keep transferring money to you. How much more insulting do you have to be?" Chloe was taken aback, wondering why her little brother had suddenly grown a spine. "What? Why are you so angry?" "I don't understand." Her words were a jumble, and it was evident she had no idea what she was saying. Alex had had enough and exclaimed, "You wait and see. I'm ordering Sophie to keep transferring money to us." He was resolute in defending me, and it took Chloe by surprise. "Now, shut up," he yelled at her. But Chloe wouldn't back down. Sam, when he heard this, his face turned red, and he started yelling. He was my savior, standing up for me in this crazy situation. "What in the hell are you thinking?" Alex shouted at Chloe. "Who are you to say that to me?" An epic sister and brother fight started right outside the house. "Sophie is my wife. You want my wife to keep transferring money to you. How much more insulting do you have to be?" Chloe, who was growing more irrational by the minute, protested, "You gotta be kidding. My husband won't take care of them." But Alex had a solution in mind. "Well, why didn't you do it by yourself? Mom and Dad said they don't want me to do it. They want you to do it." Chloe's face fell as she realized the predicament she was in. "Sam, please don't leave. You have to take care of Mom and Dad. Besides, we'll need your income too." She was desperate and trying to appeal to her husband. But Sam saw through her selfishness and said, "Why not depend on your husband for your income? You've put Sophie through so much trouble." I couldn't help but feel a sense of satisfaction as he called her out. Alex, meanwhile, had a revelation. "Sam, what?" He took my hand, and we started walking away. A second later, Chloe shouted, "Where are you going?" "Well, we're leaving Mom and Dad's," Alex replied. Chloe was aghast. "What? Mom and Dad will understand, but they'll need care soon, so you'll have to take care of them." Sam was unyielding, and it seemed that her fate was sealed. Naturally, Emma began to protest. "You gotta be kidding. My husband won't take care of them." But Sam had a solution in mind. "Well, why don't you do it by yourself? Mom and Dad said they don't want me to do it. They want you to do it." Chloe was in a tough spot, as it seemed that she was not the caretaker type, and her husband wasn't exactly enthusiastic about the idea either. "Oh, Sam, please don't leave. I don't want to be a caregiver. I just got married, and now my marriage is going to get worse," she lamented. And so Sam and I signed a contract for an apartment, and we decided to live there. Chloe didn't have enough money to move out of her parents' house, so she stayed behind with her husband, taking care of her parents. Her marriage faced problems, as her husband was angry with her for the unexpected turn of events. "It wasn't supposed to be like this," he often lamented. I couldn't help but feel a sense of satisfaction as I observed the situation from a distance. Chloe had finally come to understand what I had been subjected to every day. It was as if karma had come around full circle, and I was now free from her constant torment. Life in our new apartment with Sam was nothing short of wonderful. We reveled in our newfound freedom, away from the constant turmoil caused by Chloe's antics. Our relationship blossomed even further, as we enjoyed the peace and quiet of our own space. I focused on my career, and Sam took on the role of the house husband with enthusiasm. We settled into a comfortable routine, sharing the responsibilities of maintaining our home. Our days were filled with laughter, shared dreams, and a profound sense of contentment. While we were building our life together, Chloe was grappling with the consequences of her rash decisions. She had chosen to stay in her parents' home, taking on the role of a caretaker, which was not something she had anticipated. Her husband resented the situation, and their marriage was on shaky ground. Chloe was overwhelmed, constantly torn between her responsibilities at home and her husband's dissatisfaction. It was clear that her grand plan had backfired spectacularly. She was now facing the very predicament she had wished upon me. As time passed, Chloe's complaints and pleas for help became more frequent. She reached out to me on several occasions, asking for financial assistance. But I had learned my lesson and wasn't about to be taken advantage of again. I had no obligation to rescue her from the mesh she had created. Chloe's once assertive demeanor had dwindled, and she seemed more humble and apologetic, though it was clear that her newfound humility was driven by desperation rather than genuine remorse. I couldn't help but feel a twinge of satisfaction watching her come to terms with the consequences of her actions. Meanwhile, Sam and I continued to thrive. We had saved enough to consider expanding our family. The prospect of becoming parents filled us with excitement and anticipation. It was a new chapter in our life, and we welcomed it with open arms. In the midst of these changes, I couldn't help but reflect on the twists and turns life had thrown our way. I had gone from being an unwelcome guest in my in-laws' house to living a peaceful life with a loving husband, free from the constant torment of Chloe. The years rolled on, and the chapters of our lives continued to unfold. Sam and I welcomed the arrival of our first child, a beautiful baby boy. His birth brought an overwhelming sense of joy and fulfillment to our lives. We named him Ethan, a name that carried a special meaning for us. Becoming parents was a transformative experience. It shifted our priorities, reshaped our daily routines, and deepened the bond between us. Late nights, diaper changes, and sleepless nights became our new normal, but we cherished every moment. Parenthood was a journey that tested our patience and resilience, but also filled our hearts with immeasurable love. Ethan's laughter and innocent curiosity breathed new life into our home. We watched him grow from his first hesitant steps to his first words, and every milestone was a cause for celebration. His presence reminded us of the beauty and the simplicity of life, and we treasured each fleeting moment. As we settled into our roles as parents, the dynamics of our family continued to evolve. Chloe's life, too, had undergone changes. She remained in her parents' house, caring for them as their health declined. Her husband had reluctantly embraced his role as a caretaker, knowing there was no other choice. Their relationship had weathered the storm, but the scars of their tumultuous past still lingered. Chloe reached out to me occasionally, seeking advice and support as she navigated the complexities of caregiving. Our conversations were no longer filled with bitterness and resentment, but were marked by a newfound understanding. It was a testament to the power of empathy and growth. Despite the challenges she faced, Chloe had matured, and her priorities had shifted. She had developed a deeper appreciation for family, a sentiment she once struggled to comprehend. The responsibilities she had taken on had forced her to reevaluate her relationships and choices. Life had humbled her in ways she had never anticipated. Through it all, I remained content in my own family, embracing the joy of motherhood and the comfort of our peaceful life. The past was but a distant memory, and the wounds had healed over time. I no longer held on to grudges, for I had my own family to cherish. As the years went by, our world expanded with the arrival of a second child, a lovely baby girl named Olivia. Our hearts swelled with love, and our home was filled with the laughter of our two children. Parenthood had reshaped us in profound ways, teaching us patience, resilience, and the boundless capacity to love. Chloe's journey, on the other hand, was an ongoing process of adaptation and self-discovery. She had embraced her role as a caretaker, and her relationship with her husband had grown stronger through shared challenges. The struggles they faced had forged a deep connection based on mutual support and understanding. We had all learned that life could be unpredictable and challenging, but it also offered opportunities for growth, forgiveness, and redemption. As we moved forward in our respective paths, we had each found our own version of happiness and contentment. And so, our stories continued to unfold, filled with the complexities of life, the bonds of family, and the ever-present possibility of change. As we looked to the future, we knew that our journeys were far from over, but we faced them with open hearts and the wisdom of experience.